Well, welcome, ladies and gents. Karl Urban from Dread to Mortal Kombat, apparently. So, The Boys star Karl Urban is reportedly in final talks to play Johnny Cage for the Mortal Kombat sequel. You know, that movie that came out a few years back with Hiroyuki Sanada? Yeah, interesting. Very, very... I never really picked him as a Johnny Cage type, but I can see it now I'm hearing it. I definitely can see it. 100%. You know, it's interesting because obviously we normally see him very gruff, dark hair, you know, very, very gruff, very, I mean, we're synonymous now with The Boys, isn't he? So we've seen him play this character for some time, Billy Butcher, but I can see it. Mortal Kombat, Johnny Cage. What do you guys think? Let's take a look. Hit subscribe if you're new here. But let's take a look at this very interesting piece of news. So, making good on its predecessor's ending teaser, Warner Brothers Discovery, I think Legendary were involved in this as well, if I remember rightly. Upcoming sequel to their Mortal Kombat reboot will finally see Johnny Cage enter the ring, and Karl Urban is the leading choice to portray the ego, the pompous guy on the silver screen. And this is obviously what was teased at the end, wasn't it? Johnny Cage, Citizen Cage, fight for your rights coming soon. They teased Johnny Cage at the end of the I say the first Mortal Kombat. It's not the first, but you know what I mean. It was the Mortal Kombat that released a few years back, the latest one, which, you know, it got a bad rap. A few people didn't like it. Look, it wasn't great. You know, they introduced a really dumb character as their main star, but all in all, it wasn't horrendous. I didn't hate it. They did a lot of things right. Let's put it that way. They did some stuff wrong, but they did a lot right. And if they get Karl Urban, it elevates it. You know, it brings it up a fair few notches. So, per the rap, the Dread and the Boys star is in final talks, quotes, that's their direct quote, with the studio to secure the role of the fighting franchise's resident movie star. Now, I am interested to hear this. Karl Urban, great guy, does make some massive demands when he works for companies, though. Some of them are very warranted, FYI. You know, if he's overseas for a certain period of time and it's a long one, he does, generally speaking, want his family there and things like this. And I get it. You know, I get it. I understand. But I am just... It's surprising. I didn't think he would go for something like this. But, you know, maybe he's a fan of it. Maybe he just wants to, I don't know, have a bit of fun. You know, he's been choosing really fun roles lately. And he doesn't really get given the A-lister roles that I guess he probably should do, because he's actually a really good actor. But anyway, should he agree, Karl Urban would be the first confirmed cast member of Simon McQuaid's second outing into Earth Realm, as despite how the last film strongly implied that Lewis Tan's Cole Young would play a major part in the series going forward, and Sub-Zero actor Joe Taslim has confirmed that his contract encompassed 4 further appearances as the Lin Kuai's champion. Both actors have yet to be officially announced as returning. And Lewis Tan is this Cole Young, this whoever, this sort of newbie guy, like just vague powers that he had, like his body could... he literally had plot armor. His body would just turn to armor. It was fucking weird. Anyway, producer Todd Garner recently shared a photo of himself alongside Taslim and Shang Tsung actor Chin Han, alongside the simple caption, 2. Given the ever-evolving nature of Hollywood productions, the actors cannot be considered confirmed prior to an official studio announcement, which does make sense. And this is what was posted. So, I mean, you can basically... I mean, you can... Look, it's pretty confirmed, isn't it? Now, his existence revealed in the very final seconds of Mortal Kombat, wherein a poster for the actor's latest film can be seen hanging in the locker room at the aforementioned Young's gym, as the fledgling hero leaves to recruit him into the battle against Otherworld. So Cage's absence was perhaps the most prominent criticism levelled at the film. Among other things, I didn't mind Cage not being in it. Honestly, I didn't mind at all. I didn't think it was a huge issue, genuinely. And they gave a really good answer. So when they released the movie, there was an interview with Variety, and the director said, we originally had him on there, or well, we didn't originally have him, but we wanted to cut him from what would be an original roster because, and I quote, he's such a giant personality that he almost has his own gravitational field. The feeling was that he would throw it out of balance. I get asked about Kitana just as much as Johnny Cage. There's a lot of interesting characters, story, and material to work with, so we haven't really dug into it. We just know we're very privileged that's sitting there. If we do get to that, and I'm not saying we will, I'm just saying if, big if, then we'll go down that path. It's a pretty good answer. You know, it's like, hey, these characters are really good, but we can't have all of the good characters in one film. And, you know, that kind of sounds like a cop-out, but it's not. It's more, they're so good, they need focus on their own film. You know, you just hodgepodge them together. It would just be like, oh, and here's Johnny Cage. Moving on. Like, it's too much. You just can't do that. So, look, I like Karl Urban. I think he's really good. I'm down with him being in this. I think he's good. I think he's a good pick. It's an interesting choice. You know, someone that I didn't think, you know, traditionally for the role. He's been in a lot of stuff. You know, The Boys, Bones, McCoy in Star Trek, Scourge, Thor Ragnarok. He's been around. He was even as well. People often forget Lord of the Rings. He was in Lord of the Rings, which people, yeah, often genuinely forget. So there you have it. What else? What else can we say about this? You know, you have other people trying to, I don't know, sort of campaign for the role. But I like this. I think Karl Urban, good pick. Johnny Cage, good character to have. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it's any good. I think, you know, I didn't hate the first one. What can I say? I thought it was dumb fun. Popcorn beer flick, I call them. You know, not going to win any awards, but certainly not offensive in the least. What do you think, though, guys? Let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Give the video a like and a share. Cheers. Take care.